Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball podcast, episode 40. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Wilt each and every week. We're going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Division I schools in the state of Indiana, because in 49 states,
it's just basketball.
New setup. We're in person. That's huge.
Yeah, we are back in person. It's a lot easier to be in person when we're not doing an interview. So, spoiler alert, we are not doing an interview this week.
Yeah, we did not have an Olympian on for this episode. Obviously, you can see the episode title, what we're talking about. We do not have any Olympians on this week. I apologize for our failure.
How dare you not coordinate with an Olympian?
I know, man. Well, they're still there.
Yeah, and it's also like, nighttime there, so they're probably asleep. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about it, but I'm sure there's a lot of them are still celebrating. But we also got new chairs. We have more things that need to go up on the wall. With the new chairs are also we're a little lopsided with the background, so we'll fix that another time. But thanks for being here. We like Adam kind of alluded to, we are not really talking about college basketball, and by really talking about, I mean we're not going to talk about college basketball at all today. We are going to celebrate the great nation of the United States of America and talk about the Summer Olympics that took place in Paris and wrapped up today, or on the 11th if you're listening on audio. But yeah, we're excited. It was
the Olympics are over. It was a ton of fun. We won. That's huge.
That is very, yeah. But it's kind of funny though. We say we went. I don't know how other nations consider it, but like the Olympic Committee themselves doesn't really declare a winner.
No,
like it's everyone won. Everyone that won a medal won.
Yeah,
but the United States cleared every category other than tying for gold.
Yeah. Everything, it's whoever wins the Olympics is whoever gets the most golds. And if you tie, it's whoever has the most overall medals, which was us.
Us. Yeah. We, Adam,
you and I, we cleared. It was an easy clap. So the United States had 40 medals. China had 40 medals, but how many overall did we have? 126?
Yeah, so
like that?
when you say 40 medals, it's 40 gold medals. So the United States and China tied with 40 gold medals apiece. The United States had 126 total medals to China's 91, which by the tiebreaker rule would grant the United States the victory. We had 44 silver medals and 42 bronze medals. So
what an even distribution.
Yeah. Compared to like China had 40 gold, 27 silver, 24 bronze. And fourth place was Australia with 18, 19, and 16 respectively. We doubled.
If I had
more than doubled.
If I had any sense of good journalism, I would have looked up how many events we got gold in or China got gold in that the other one also medaled in.
Yeah, but we're not good journalists.
Yeah, exactly. we're just some two dudes that got some microphones and go live every Sunday or release every Monday, however you find us. So, no Olympian with us. I'm sorry. Although, based on one of the Olympians we saw, maybe we could be in the Olympics. Maybe we could. We'll talk about that. I don't know in what order we want to talk about the Olympics. We'll just break it down. I admittedly did not watch. I wasn't super plugged into the Olympics this year. I watched a decent amount, but not as much as past years. Probably because I have a kid at home.
I also think that
at the last Olympics.
I think the time difference also probably makes a difference.
Or what was it 4 years ago? Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. 2016 was Rio. Then it was the COVID Olympics in 2021. It was in Europe, right? No. Where was it?
In Asia. It was Beijing,
It was Beijing again?
maybe.
2021?
2020 Summer Olympics. Tokyo. Sorry,
Tokyo,
Tokyo.
the Tokyo Olympics.
2012 was Beijing.
Yeah. Because I remember last Olympics being up like, at like midnight watching stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather watch late at night than wake up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
to start watching, or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I think that played a big part. But I watched quite a bit the first couple weeks. Once swimming ended, I kind of slowed down. I
Yeah.
didn't watch as much track as I would have liked. Life also just kind of happens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously I watch like basketball because I like basketball, but I'd say Olympics for me, Summer Olympics at least, are like the big three for me. My big three is swimming, track, and gymnastics.
That's fair. That's fair.
What I watch. I mean, I obviously love like the raft, the kayaking stuff that they do.
That's just intense.
Yeah,
and so cool.
Those are sweet. But like what I pay attention to the most are track, swimming, and gymnastics. What about you?
Yeah. See, I will watch gymnastics. I just don't. I can't. I can watch them like, okay, yeah, what they're doing is great,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't just differentiate between a gold medalist versus someone who doesn't even qualify for the finals in terms of what they do, because it's all just things that I'll never be able to do.
Yeah,
and I just don't understand how the scoring works to know whether or not what
fair.
A specific move or spin or
Whereas
twirl
other
or
events are like you were just faster.
yeah. And that might be bad, but
Well, I mean,
it's amazing to watch gymnastics. But I'd say swimming for sure, track for sure. I was really tuned into the skateboarding, which is a newer Olympic event. And I just, I've always thought skateboarding is cool as shit. So, and then obviously basketball, I follow it, but
makes you want to fire up some Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
1 and 2
yeah.
remake.
Or find my old skateboard from when I was 12 years old.
Don't go trying those tricks. Yeah. So like gymnastics for me, I really like the storylines in gymnastics. I think they're really great. Like having Simone Biles back out there again this year
for
was
sure.
awesome, especially after like what happened with her. Like, I don't know what that condition or whatever is called, where she was just like, when she would just get up in the air, she would just basically not know what way was up.
Vertigo?
No, it's something different. It's like an actual thing. I mean, vertigo is an actual thing, but like she would just like not know like basically where she was. And it's like, obviously like one of the most dangerous things that can happen to you when you're trying to vault do any of those things.
The twisties.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
That's its official name.
The twisties, which affected Simone Biles in the 2020 Summer Olympics, are a mental block in gymnastics.
Yeah. So that was really cool to see her go out there and do that again. I mean, while we're talking about it, she won all around gold again. I guess the last time she would have won it would have been 2016 because she dropped out, and then Suni Lee won 2020 gold.
I think so, yeah.
After she dropped out.
Who? She won bronze or silver this year. I think bronze.
So. I can pull it up for you. But and then like we won overall team gold too, which is awesome to see have that happen. All around individual bronze, yeah. Then gold in the last Olympics. So I think the storylines with gymnastics are really cool, and then everything that I'm watching, like with gymnastics, is just like, okay, this is just the coolest thing I've ever seen happen.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Did you watch any of Simone Biles, like individual stuff?
I had it on, but I didn't. I was working during it, so I kind of.
I don't remember if it was her individual floor routine or if it was for the team. I think it might have been her individual. Her floor routine. She like we were watching and we were like, she did whatever trick it was. Her head was like, her highest part of her body was 12 feet in the air on the floor. Like,
oh yeah.
That is ridiculous. That is insane. 12 feet. She's like, I think she's 4'8". That's
She's a small human.
yeah, as you know, all of them are, but like that's just insanity to be able to go 12 feet into the air, doing gymnastics, doing flips, and then landing it. Um, I still don't really understand, and maybe someone who's more plugged into gymnastics could let me know, like, why they can't just do their flips and their tumbling stuff. They have to do like the dancing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like don't
That
again,
like
I
I
don't
get,
know
I'm
what
like, oh, that was
factors
a cool
into
trick, but I'm like, how much does the dancing part matter? Like, is that,
well,
the end of the score?
and that's why like I struggle with understanding gymnastics because I don't know what like how that factors, how every single component, ties into each other. But still impressive nonetheless. And I am curious when the next time we see an Olympian, a gymnast at Simone Biles's pedigree.
I don't know. Probably always. Got a factory over here.
That's true.
Factory's a
Maybe.
terrible way to say it, but like we're just a gymnastics powerhouse. I don't know. I don't know. What else do we have on gymnastics? Clark Kent out there for the men's national team.
Pole vault guy or
the
pommel horse guy.
Horse guy. Yeah, Steven Netarosik, I think. The pommel horse guy. Like the memes from this Olympics were great. Like Olympics memes are always great. I mean, I remember going back from the angry looking Michael Phelps in the corner.
Yep.
Like that was great, but like him where he's just absolutely knocked out. Like waiting for his event.
Yeah, he's just literally just like
chair. Yep. And they're like, this is the sleeper agent. They're gonna activate
and
it.
They're like, and then they're like, all right, you're up. And he just gets up, takes his shirt off,
takes his glasses
off. Can't see a thing when he's up there. Which is even more impressive because it's all just, I mean, Olympics, a lot of it is or gymnastics in general is a lot of muscle memory, I think.
Feel, yeah.
And he just goes up there, can't see a thing, doesn't want his glasses to fly off, and just goes to work.
Yeah, dude, the pommel horse, like it's obviously sick. I couldn't even probably get myself up on a pommel horse and do any sort of anything, but like their legs are just going just around.
Yeah.
Like a weed whacker.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I thought it was funny when people were like, now I understand why no one recognized Superman as Clark Kent, because as soon as that dude took off his glasses, you're like, okay, yeah, he's a completely different human being.
Yeah, no, it was awesome to see. Like, because again, and didn't he also not compete in any other individual event other than pommel horse?
He's just the pommel horse guy.
Which is,
and I don't know how, like, I mean, I guess, I don't know. That's probably pretty common, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're specialist.
Obviously, we've seen like amazing people, Simone Biles,
who can do it all.
But like,
yeah,
I'm sure there's, just like everything. Like, I'm the 200-meter guy. I'm the 800-meter guy.
Yeah.
You just got your guy.
That's
gal.
Fair. Yeah. Let's talk about
let's back up.
Okay.
You watched the opening ceremonies and I did not.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I thought it was really cool. It was really cool to see how Paris and just France in general, like, tied in the history and their culture into the opening ceremony. Okay. They went from talking about, or from doing like a Les Mis visual production thing to straight into a heavy metal rock band playing a song, which was just so cool. The boat parade that they did was really cool, but also was kind of weird just because it made things drag on, I think, longer, because you've got all the boats going in, but there's like 45 minutes between boats, some boats at times.
Really?
It was like a like a 3-hour opening ceremony,
That's crazy.
which I can't remember the Tokyo opening ceremony, but I feel like it was longer than normal.
I couldn't picture a single opening ceremony.
This one I'll never forget. But like they had someone in a costume, like a Renaissance type like spy costume, running across rooftops in Paris, like
They were like
climbing rafters.
SEO.
It was like a scene out of Assassin's Creed, pretty much. So that was really neat. Lady Gaga performed, Celine Dion performed, which was a huge deal for Celine to perform, just because she took a break off of, not a break, but she like stopped going on tour and stopped performing because of the medical condition she has.
Didn't even know she had a medical condition.
It's called like still person disease or something, where like your muscles just, you can't move too well. And when you're a performer like that, like you kind of rely on being able to walk around and perform a concert.
Fun.
It's, I don't want to, I think it's like an autoimmune type
a
thing,
rare
maybe.
autoimmune neurological disorder that is most commonly cause muscle stiffness and painful spasms that can come and go. Huh.
Yeah. I had to look it up because one of my coworkers like brought it up because she's a huge Celine Dion fan, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, she's performing." I thought she wasn't performing anymore, but she's French Canadian, I believe, and I didn't realize this, but she like her entire discography, every album or whatever, she alternated. If I'm understanding correctly, she like alternated between French and English.
You're about to say American, weren't you?
Nope.
Yeah, apparently unexpected or loud noises can trigger it. Physical touch or stimulation can trigger it. Stressful events, changes in temperature. That's crazy. Can develop at any age, but they most often begin in your 30s or 40s. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, I can.
Like to just go 30, 40 years and then just all of a sudden
you have this thing that matriculates.
Yeah, just all of a sudden you're like, oh no. Locking up. But I mean, where do you want to go? Near, far, wherever you are?
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
Bro, that's Celine Dion. My heart will go on.
I honestly,
that's disrespectful.
Don't know any of her music.
You know my heart will go on.
Probably if I heard it, couldn't tell you a lyric from it.
Near, far.
Okay, let's talk about basketball, because I think I have the most to talk about regarding basketball, and we are a basketball podcast. So,
sorry, I just saw the Phillies score. Oh, getting so mad down the stretch. Anyway, sorry. Tabbed over to ESPN, 12-5. Oh goodness.
So men's basketball wins its 5th gold medal in a row, which feels not right. I feel like they didn't win gold in 2020, and that's why they put together this team.
No, they won gold, but barely.
Oh.
And I believe they beat, my guess is Spain. I'm going to look it up.
Okay. But this team, first off, after the post-game interview, they asked LeBron, naturally, who won MVP.
France. I'm just going to interrupt you. I'm going to keep going. It was France that they beat this, like, in 2020. And third bronze was Australia.
Huh.
4th place, Slovenia.
Interesting. So LeBron won MVP of the whole thing. He was the MVP, but
I would not have voted LeBron. I mean, it's
purely,
the whole thing.
But I think you have the finals, like the gold medal game bias.
I watched the semifinals too, and I know, like,
they needed LeBron through every game.
They needed KD through
That's
most of
true.
them.
That's true.
They needed KD.
That's true.
For sure. I mean, like they for sure needed Steph. I
I
would
mean,
have given it to Steph.
They were down. I remember the first game of pool play. They were playing, I believe, Serbia, and they were losing. And Katie didn't play any exhibition game.
Yeah, wasn't he hurt?
Yeah, he was hurt. It was like a hamstring thing or something. And he checked in, and everyone went crazy. The moment he checked in, he just buckets.
Yep.
Right away.
Instantly, first shot drained it.
And it's just like,
I think it was a 3 too,
it's
right?
like, yeah, it's like, okay, Katie is my goat. But after the game, post game interview, the reporter asked LeBron. They were like, "There's the dream team, the redeem team. What's this team?" LeBron's response didn't say anything else. The Avengers. Which is, I think he fed off of all the memes over the last 4 years of like, once the Olympics, because typically the United States, at least in recent years, had not relied on all of the superstars.
Yeah, they're not sending.
They're looking at like up and coming younger players to represent the United States.
Which is why they like that. Which I think is why you're thinking that we didn't win.
Yeah,
because they were like,
and afterwards, LeBron was like, "We're putting a team together," and that it's just like Tony Stark vibes of like,
oh, that means he's
Nick Fury.
He's Nick Fury.
Either way, it's just like they put the team together, and there were some close games. They struggled against Serbia, right?
Yes,
with the zone defense.
That was in the
semifinals.
That was in the semis.
And I just want to, you know me, in zone defense, how zone defense should be taught young. I think this is a perfect example that, you know, teams struggle against the zone. And I think that more teams should know how to play zone defense, because if you do it at a really high level, and you got to start young to get that experience to do it at a high level.
Okay, I understand that people struggle against the zone, but that's because you have to change the way you're playing, and it changes your game plan completely.
Yeah,
obviously you have
This is why more teams should have it in their
on
back
deck,
pocket.
But they were looking like Kenny Payne's Louisville for the first half of that game.
Exactly. That's my point. Got to have zone in your back pocket.
I mean, it worked for the first half. Maybe they shouldn't have gone away from it.
That's on them.
So, like, just with basketball in general, like, normally it felt, you know, you calling it the Avengers, and LeBron calling
not
it
my
the
words.
Avengers, you know, feels appropriate because, like, that's, I mean, down the roster, like, you've got Jason Tatum and Hallie not playing, basically.
And Hallie, even the best thing about Hallie,
he leaned into it.
He posted a picture with his gold and said, "When you ain't do none on the group project and still get an A."
Yeah, which, I mean, that's the exact same attitude that I would have. I mean,
he was dealing with some injury stuff.
That's what they said after the fact.
And he's still going to be a big part of the future of the United States Olympic team.
I mean, I think you're looking at, like, they're playing behind Steph and Booker, who was great.
Yeah.
Devin Booker was great this Olympics. Like, a lot better than I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to be fine, but a lot better than I thought he was going to be.
I think, too, is, you know, when you look at the stat line of Jason Tatum finished 0 for 16 on jump shots between the Olympics and the exhibition games, and you're still winning gold.
Between the Olympics and exhibition games, or the final?
The entire Olympics and the exhibition games.
Okay, so you mean the exhibition games first, and then like
so
okay.
Between
the
every
order of the words confused.
Sorry, my bad. But every Olympic related basketball game that was played, whether it was
yeah, I get what you mean now.
0 for 16 on jump shots, not a 3, no mid range, not a bunny. And you still win in I'd say a pretty dominant fashion.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, you're doing all right when you've got a guy like that who's a world champion, one of the best.
Whoa.
What?
World champion?
NBA champion. They consider NBA finals the world champions.
Some do.
I'm
I
just
know one
saying what
guy
the
who
people
doesn't,
say.
Jaren.
Who?
Lyles.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But uh, it,
So he played terribly, and that's probably why he didn't get in.
yeah. Well, yeah.
You can't take that risk in the Olympics, especially when you're playing Jokic. You're playing the best basketball player in the world.
Speaking of which, the finals was yesterday on the 10th. Today he was spotted back at the Serbian horse tracks.
Of course. Dude, he knows what he wants.
But also it was really cool to see there's videos of him on the bus with the Serbian team after they won bronze, and he's just like super eclectic, super excited, and it's like, this dude was more excited to win bronze than he was when he won the finals. But yeah. I think winning bronze is a lot more of a bigger deal.
What does he love? He loves horses. He loves his home. He just wants to be at home in Serbia. So of course he's going to be way happier about earning bronze
for his country.
Yeah. You know.
Another little thing I didn't realize. Pau Gasol. I saw it because Pau Gasol tweeted it. I guess FIBA tweeted it. Pau Gasol responded. It was, they won gold on 8/10/2024.
Yep.
So the date being 8/10/24. Who wore those three numbers respectively?
Kobe
Bryant.
Yeah,
so I thought it was a really cool, like, a fitting thing because FIBA, which is obviously an international basketball organization, they tweeted that, and I was like, okay, that's gotta respect that.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. I was excited. So talking about the semifinal game against Serbia, Carmelo was like courtside,
naturally
standing up. Like you can see, you know, he's the only person you can basically see. He's like basically looking like he's gonna walk onto this court, just standing up, cheering for Steph to break his record. Steph had 36. I think Carmelo's record is 37. They could have left him in and let him get, you know, one more bucket, but obviously that would not be smart to do because they were up, you know, with
you run the risk of injury.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, I just really like it when people who have a record like that cheer for people to break that record.
Well, Michael Phelps was doing the same thing
yeah.
with Marchand, was just like super, and Marchand already has broken all of Michael Phelps's records, I think, other than total, but I guess his total medal count.
His times.
Yeah. And Michael Phelps was just like lit as hell watching the swimming matches.
Yeah.
But not to digress from basketball. Yeah, that's like Carmelo Anthony doing that is, he doesn't care about the record. He cares.
Olympics Carmelo is like, that's the apex of Carmelo. That is Carmelo at his best.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's just Olympics Carmelo is best Melo for sure. So like I always really enjoy that. And then
wasn't LeBron was on that team with Melo when he broke the record, right?
Probably.
Can you imagine him being on the team with Steph? Just speaks to his longevity of, he was there the last two times.
Like
40.
Okay. He's not going to be, but it is not completely out of the question that he won't play in LA. Homie will be at home. He can stay at his crib.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, a couple hours after the game was over, I got a Bleacher Report pop up that was about LeBron. And I had a heart attack, and a quick glance, I thought it was going to be like, LeBron wins gold, announces his retirement.
Yeah. Got his son drafted, immediately dips.
Obviously, that was not what the headline was. I don't remember what it was. Unimportant, but
not as
I was
as the one you thought it was.
My heart about dropped.
So then in the finals game was against France, which like is definitely the best team to play.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they've got like Rudy Gobert, they've got Evan Fournier, they've got Wemby. So it's like, okay, these longtime NBA players, and then the guy that is supposed to be the next best player. after Jokic.
I also thought it was fitting too because, like we talked about, they put this team together because they wanted to like put the stamp and say we are better than France, just because of how close the 2020 Olympics were.
And I think that they're just like, this is how every Olympics should be, because the rest of the world is good. Like they're good at basketball.
Yeah.
Like they're so good, and their best player, obviously, like the USA is deeper, but like the starting five that France rolls out could start in the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's
most of them do.
Yeah, and like they were better at center. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had Anthony Davis, who played pretty well. Joel Embiid, who played up and down. Anthony Davis, who played up and down. So it's like, if one of those dudes isn't on, like, Wemby, good luck. I mean, Wemby was getting bodied, but he scored a lot. He played well. He's just skinny. But yeah, I mean, being in that final game, Steph Curry just took it to another level. He hit down the stretch in like the last 2 minutes. He hit 4 straight threes, and one of them was a double team. Literally, like in this picture, they're both trying to block the shot, and then it's like LeBron and someone else just.
I think it was KD.
LeBron and KD just both holding their hands up, like calling for the ball, and like when he shoots it, they both like look befuddled, and then it goes in, and then they're like more befuddled. And like, okay, like what? And did you see the thing on Twitter where people saw the French broadcast of that, and it like translated like, the devil called Curry is hurting us.
Yeah, that's
oh my gosh. Which I like that. I like how biased the reporting and like the play calling can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you would probably not be able to get away with that if it was the
NBA.
Yeah.
Because you can't pick a side, but like when it's
supposed to call it objectively.
Something like this, you've got national broadcasters from every country. The last thing I have on the team was just a funny video. Obviously the men's team went out. They were popping. Everyone had a champagne bottle. They were all spraying it, and they were like the bigger bottles, not like normal size bottles. And there's a video of Anthony Edwards going out there trying to spray it and just struggling. He like couldn't get it open. The spray, it wasn't like the misty spray, that like is nice. It was more of just like it went out. It just didn't have. It was more narrow than widespread.
First time.
And just in the background, LeBron goes, "I know you ain't used to doing that."
Owned.
And it was pretty funny. Let's talk about women's basketball. Another dominant showing. Won their eighth gold in a row.
Yeah.
The Kelsey Plum just absolutely killed it. I'm a big fan of Kelsey. Asia Wilson also just was dominant. Couldn't be stopped.
Yeah, and like I think that so this was obviously they had to win gold. Quite literally they had to win gold for us to win the Olympics.
Yeah, it came down to there were like 7 events left that China and the United States were all competing in. China was a lock for I believe it was women's weightlifting, and United States was they considered it a lock for women's basketball. And then there were like 5 other events that were like likely won't win, but could volleyball, marathon, women's volleyball, running, things like that. But yeah, the women sealed the deal for the United States to
brought it to 40 golds.
Yep.
And like I also think that this is obviously they didn't have to win for this reason, but like when they didn't put Caitlin Clark on the team, like that decision either way I think is a lose-lose. Putting her on the team or not on the team is a lose, because if you put her on the team and you don't play her, people are mad.
Yeah.
If you don't put her on the team, people are mad. But now that you didn't put her on the team, and like the first half of the women's game, the guards were struggling. So what's everyone at home doing? Talking about like, man, if only we had a guard who could shoot and pass And
Yeah.
like, and then maybe have some other really good player down low who could grab a bunch of rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, you have to win. Like you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to win to silence the haters, so to speak. But it was really cool to see them win, especially because they rallied back. They were tied. It was like 25-25 at half, and then they rallied back after being down in the second half. And then,
Had us in the first half.
yeah, just like 0 for 3,
Yep.
0 for 3 from 3 in the first half in that one. And then, like Brittany Griner was like, of course, like sobbing when they were playing the national anthem after, just thinking about like she was in, a Russian prison like a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
To win gold for your country is awesome. The first time that the men and women have had the gold medal game has been against the same two teams.
Huh.
First time ever, apparently.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
We won. We won both. And didn't France play the women's soccer team too?
I'll look it up.
I feel like there was another event that they also lost to us in. Which is unfortunate. Being the home team, quite literally.
No, it was Brazil.
It was Brazil. There was some other I'll find it. There was some other team that we beat, like it was us winning gold and them winning silver. Maybe they won bronze or something. I don't know. It's not that important. But if I'm France, I hate us.
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
Us
I'm
going
so
into
mad.
their crib and beating them for gold. Yeah.
They got to wear the home whites. Which, one thing that I was watching, the second half.
Brother, our notes even say U.S. women's national team went over Brazil.
I know. I had it in there, but there was something in there that I
no, you're good. You're good.
There was, okay, so second half of basketball, you're scoring on the basket by your bench.
Yep.
That's not how it was.
FIBA rules, man.
I know. FIBA rules are so weird.
I kind of like FIBA rules.
I like that you can swat the ball off the rim.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. U.S. always struggles with the FIBA rules. Wider lane, something about gather step is different in FIBA.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm shocked that the NBA hasn't adopted FIBA rules, just because that's how every other nation in the world plays it.
They're trying to make a statement. They're the imperial system to FIBA's metric system,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about soccer a little bit. Women's national team won gold over Brazil. It's their first gold since 2012. I think in that time span they have 2 World Cups, I believe. But there's a video of Lavelle Rose, who is a player for the women's national team. It was funny because she was out celebrating. It was like the situation of like lights on, nobody's home, because she was just enjoying herself so much. And those memes where it's like, if I send you this picture, it means I'm coming, but whatever condition.
Mm-hmm.
There was a picture of her sitting on like the steps, and it was like, if I send you this picture, it means I'm gonna be there physically, but not mentally or emotionally whatsoever. She also is from Cincinnati, went to Wisconsin, so like drinking is in her blood. Someone was like, she could outdrink anyone from like Serbia or.
Gotta rally, be ready the next day, man.
Yeah.
The picture is
awesome.
definitely funny.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, our men's team needs to catch up. They have needed to catch up for forever.
Well, the men's team also doesn't have a head coach currently.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me about men's soccer in the Olympics is most nations don't send their best. Like, they don't send their World Cup team. They send their B team, essentially. They might have like 1 or 2 of their stars on the team, but
Why?
typically,
Just because the World Cup is what matters to everybody.
I think part of that plus I think I don't know exactly when the women's pro league starts for this season, but the men's professional season starts usually in like August. So a lot of those players are then getting ready for their club season.
Yeah, and they're out there making quadrillion dollars.
Yeah.
No salary caps out there.
Yeah. So I think that's part of it. I'm just speaking out my butt. Don't actually know. But it's
No,
just an interesting little thing to
we're not
see
from the rest of the country, so
from the rest of the world.
the rest of the countries. There we go. Fixed
There,
it.
yeah.
I just remembered, and I didn't put this in our notes because I wanted to forget about it, but then I remembered that our 3x3 team was Dogwater.
Yeah, both men's and women's struggled.
Well, the women's like got bronze or something, but the men.
Yeah, but the women's were previous gold winners.
So the men were embarrassing. They got beat like.
Yeah.
Jimmer
Jimmer was picked to be, and the reason I know this is because I follow a guy. I know I've like met him once in person, but I follow a guy who is really into FIBA 3x3. He's on a FIBA 3x3 team and has competed at like national tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And he was pretty much talking. It was like Jimmer was picked to be the guy. It was like, okay, typically men's has struggled in 3x3, and they're like, Jimmer's gonna make us a name for ourselves.
Jimmer's always been the old 3x3 guy.
Yeah, but like he like stepped down for a bit, or wasn't on like the actual competition team or something.
Okay.
And yeah, it's embarrassing kind of.
It's just like you win gold. You couldn't find. I don't even know how many guys are on the roster. 4 or 5. You couldn't find.
It's also weird because the men's none of them are NBA players, whereas the women's like they typically are. Like Cameron Brink was supposed to be on it until she tore her ACL.
Yeah, I don't understand why they do that. It's like I know Robbie Hummel was like a big, 3x3 guy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't get, the 20th guy on the like the guy you invited to training camp. You're like, hey, you first 3 cut, you're going to the 3x3 team.
Yeah. Put Trace Jackson Davis out there.
Seriously, or freaking like, anybody like. Just there's so many people to pick from. Why are we not picking them? Is my question. Like it's embarrassing when we get just cooked in basketball. Talk about Indiana?
Yeah, there's a long article by the Indy Star that talks about this. Was published on the 8th, so a couple days ago at this point. And at this point, if based on the Indiana Olympians, if they were a separate nation, if Team Indiana was its own nation,
People from Indiana.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It would rank 12th in the medal standings. That's
crazy. Which, how many medals would that be?
Well, it was. So the list I have, they had Indiana connected Olympians have totaled 15 medals.
Nice.
This is on Wednesday, the 8th. So, or I don't know if the day, but it was Wednesday last week. And that was with 4 days of. So 15 total medals, 6 gold. Just pretty freaking sweet. It ironically was right behind at being 12th in the standings with 15, was right behind Canada, who had 19. That's 36 million people, which is about 6 times larger than Indiana. Little fun fact.
That's it.
39 million. But
that's 6 times larger than. There's so many people in this country. So Cole Hawker, who ran the 1500, the 1500 was probably my favorite event to watch. It was the final 200 meters of the 1500 was just insane, dude. Cole Hawker, I mean, he gets like, he's from Indy. He gets boxed in, and like someone tries to go outside, and that leaves him a little bit of room, and he just kicks it into high gear, runs the 1500 with an Olympic record time, I think. And
Yep.
it was like the Olympic record and like the sixth fastest time ever.
Yeah, it was 3:27:65, which is an Olympic record. It's also equivalent to about a 3:44 mile.
Which crazy. I don't know why they don't run the mile and they run the 1500. Maybe it's because the rest of the world doesn't use miles, but like
Probably.
1600 is just 4 laps around the track. And they're just not running 4 full laps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh.
It's fine. Fine. But he wins it. He wins it, and like I think the US took bronze in that event too, which is awesome.
That was the bronze winner was also a Notre Dame graduate.
Here we go.
But so Notre Dame accounted for 7 medals. 4 of them were in fencing, which is
And 2 of them
kind of sweet.
Does that count like that? Does only 1 count for basketball? They have 2 basketball. Does that
I
count
don't.
as 1
This was
or
also
2?
this was also before women's. This
That's
was
my
like
question, but like,
I don't.
do you think it counts as 1 or 2?
I would assume it counts as 2.
Good.
Probably only
like, that's
one.
1 medal.
Probably only one because it's considered 1 medal, but
And
it's still someone else.
Yeah, a
that,
relay would not count as 4.
Right.
The total medal count.
Speaking of 4, Carmel, Indiana itself accounted for 4 total medals. 3 of them were swimming. So, I think Lily King being one of them.
We haven't even talked about swimming yet.
No, but it was Indiana University diver finished 4th on the 3-meter springboard. Pretty cool.
Good swimmers down there at IU. Good
Yes.
fencers at Notre Dame.
The fun fact, though, no Indiana runner in 120 years had medaled at a distance longer than 400 meters.
Oh, Cole.
Oh, Cole. Yeah.
Huh. Just a bunch of sprinters.
I guess. Let me see if there's someone from Granger, Indiana. Sarah Hildebrandt took gold in the 110-pound weight class for wrestling. Second Indiana woman to win an individual gold medal. Excuse me.
Gold member. Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. The second Indiana woman to win an individual gold medal after Lily King did it in 2016.
So Indiana, I mean Olympic
there
powerhouse.
Was yeah. See, this is not so. Other Olympians from Indiana that had not competed at this time were former Purdue hurdler for track and field, female weightlifter Mason Paris, and Kayla Miracle in wrestling. Fun fact about Mason Paris, can you look up to see if he won wrestling heavyweight? He is the brother of one of my fraternity brother's fiancés. So
no,
he didn't.
He lost 10-5.
He won the national championship for Michigan. Was like a 4-time state winner in the state of Indiana. But really cool. I have that little connection there. There's also a midfielder from Notre Dame, Corbin Albert. And then there was Matt Anderson and Andy Drews and men's and women's volleyball. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton is not from Indiana, but has the Indiana connection. Jackie Young from Princeton and Jewel Lloyd from Notre Dame in basketball both have the.
Paris Star said suffers early surprise out of Olympics after 1 match.
Wow.
Set.
2 divers. So Indiana athletes who won medals. 1 in diving, Sarah Bacon. 2 in cycling, Chloe Dygert. 1, 2. Fencing, Lee Kiefer, and he won 2. In fencing, Nick Itkin won 1. Esther, Hungarian, but went on Notre Dame. EP. I don't know what that.
It's a type of fencing.
Okay. 4 Indiana swimmers: Lily King, Chris Giuliano, Alex Shackle, Lusky, Drew Kibler. And that's 2 track and field, and then wrestling, like we talked about.
Nice.
Pretty cool that Indiana just kind of cleared.
49 states. It's just sports.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men set an Olympic record in the 4x4 relay, so that's pretty cool. I do like that they designate between the Olympic record and like a world record.
Like you can win, you can break the world record at the Olympics, but
it's not a world.
There's still world championships throughout the years.
Yeah, because like as a kid, you know, I won a world record. Like you always say world record.
Yeah.
Because like world, I don't know, world always just sounds more prestigious to me. I am the fastest in the world. It's like
it
makes sense because there's like, you know, there's the world championships and other events where you can set a world record, whereas the Olympics is obviously only every 4 years.
And there was a on that 4x400 team was a 16-year-old, a high schooler. Can you imagine? What did you do this summer?
No.
First day. He literally was like tweeted. He was like, "I won this. Now I got to go to school in 2 days."
Yeah. Could you imagine showing up on the starting blocks at your high school track meet, and he's just like, "All right, who's coming in second?" Like I guess
that's the kind of situation. It's like
like you know, you like literally know he's like you're just coming in last. He probably doesn't even have to go 70% win. If he even runs high school track, that's the better question.
He tweeted, there's a selfie of him holding his medal up, and he said, "Dang, I really got school in 2.5 weeks. The heartbreak."
That's what's really cool about the Olympics. That's another thing that's really cool about the Olympics is like, if you the GOAT, you're just the GOAT.
I mean, if you're that like, if you're in high school and you win a gold, like, do you even go back to school?
Sure. Got parents still. Still got. Well, that's the. I mean, that's if you're 16 and you won gold basketball.
Okay. That's fair. I guess he did not win or run in the finals, but he ran as part of some of the qualifiers. But still, obviously,
do they still get gold? They still get golds then, right?
Yeah, he still got a gold because it's like you got to have backups, right? Like for example, Noah Lyles, who we haven't talked about, he won gold in the 100, silver, bronze in the 200. With 102-degree fever, by the way. He had COVID, but he did. I don't believe he ran in the 4x100. And so you have, for circumstances like that, you have to have someone else on the roster as a backup.
And a lot of the times they'll sub people in for the finals, and they don't necessarily need them for the qualifying events and whatnot.
Yeah.
Where were we going? 14 total medals from track and field, including the women's 4x1, which I think was a world record, at least an Olympic record, I think. Let me just say it as unconfidently as I can.
I don't.
But let's talk about Noah Lyles then while we're on track, because you talked about it. So he is, an American sprinter who won the 100. One gold, just barely. And I think that's when a lot of people realize that the thing that they count you on is not your head. That's not what determines. It's your clavicle, collarbone. That's like
makes sense a little clavicle. Bit weird, but it makes sense.
Yeah. So he barely won, and then like you said, he was sick found they said afterwards that he had COVID, had 102-degree fever, and still won bronze. I ain't. I mean, it's the Olympics, but like, I ain't getting out of bed with 102-degree fever, dude.
Uh.
No way.
Going back to the women's 4x100, I don't believe they had an Olympic record or anything from what I seen on this article. But it does talk about how they were in fourth place by like 0.18 seconds.
That's maybe what I had written down
before they put the baton in Sha'Carri Richardson's hand.
Yeah, and she just
for the final 100 meters, and she just took off.
Yeah,
like it was Usain Bolt level.
Yeah,
like
that's what I didn't. I should have written more notes.
Pretty cool. The men's, aside from Noah Lyles not competing, had a lot of baton struggles. They just could not. They botched one of the handoffs, and after qualifying in first, and do it. I'm curious. I don't know for sure. Was the person that botched the handoff the person that subbed in for Lyles? Interesting to think about.
I don't know. They were all bad.
Yeah, they didn't do great there, unfortunately. But still impressive nonetheless. They're faster than I will ever be.
Maybe. There's hope for you, Jaren. You got back surgery. You're coming back strong, dude. Like rookie of the year, man.
True.
Like rookie of the year, you're coming back better than ever.
Great movie, by the way.
Yes, it is. Let's talk about the Noah Lyles stuff, because I alluded to it earlier.
Lyles. We talked about Noah Lyles.
No, we didn't talk about the drama.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I don't even know when the clip... Do you know when that clip was from?
No.
He was talking about the NBA, and they were talking about, like... He was like world champions. World champions of what? The United States?
Saying,
talking about the NBA, like, they call themselves world champions, but they only play in the United States. And so, like, there's been a lot of heat. The social media account for the men's team, and obviously subtweeting him, saying, like, world champions, blah, 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 blah. But, like, he's just been very critical. He's a very arrogant person, I guess. Very boisterous.
I think the word arrogant in a negative connotation.
I'm just saying, I'm using the word that the dude who won the 200 meters said.
Okay.
On the stand. I don't remember what they asked him, but he was like, "I'm not an arrogant person like Noah."
That's fair.
Like, dang.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's true. He won the 100, so he is the fastest person. I mean, it's like fair, I guess, but also, like, then there was more drama with him because
like recent stuff that came out with Adidas, right?
Yeah, he got like invited to an Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, so it was
going to give him a shoe.
It was the release party for the like Anthony edition or Anthony Edwards like shoe.
Yeah.
And he turned it down. He said he was like offended. He was like, he hasn't won anything. Like why is he getting it? Like, it's cool that, like, he was like, don't get me wrong, like, it's great that you're acknowledging that he's gonna be a star, but he was like, I'm already with you, and I don't got a shoe, kind of thing, which is weird. He also has the largest track and field contract ever for like an Adidas or like Nike type. It's like the largest since Usain Bolt's apparel deal.
Which, I mean, is fair just at like to say that, but also like it's all dependent on market. You know what I mean? Like, Anthony Edwards shoe. Anthony Edwards is a basketball player. Basketball makes a lot of money.
Yep.
So Adidas is going to use Anthony Edwards to make Anthony Edwards and themselves a lot of money. A Noah Lyles shoe would make less money.
Yeah. Which, like, I understand the comparison there, but I also understand from the extent of, like, did he handle it correctly? No.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, if you're an athlete and you're a star, it's like, yeah, I'm one of the best in the world. Show me some respect. but also it's all about the money.
Yeah, I mean it's always about money. Maybe he should have told them. Maybe he should have called a meeting. That I want to. Maybe he should have gotten in his contract that he wants to do. But yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like, I mean, so it's all market driven, and like, I think so many people were shocked this year when they found out like what WNBA players were paid. Like,
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark got drafted, and it's like, well, you have to watch the WNBA.
Yeah.
For them to be able to pay WNBA players more.
Yep.
Like they need to make more money. Like obviously, you know, you say that like basketball players are overpaid, which they are, but like the teams are just going to keep that money. Like you just make the owners richer.
Yeah.
If it's not going to the players, it could be donated, sure, but I don't have faith that that would happen.
Right.
So
right.
Also, you can't mandate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. Like I get what he's saying. I totally get what he's saying, but unfortunately, that's just not how it works.
Yeah. Let's talk about this is a first time Olympic event. Breakdancing.
Breaking.
Sorry, breaking. Incredibly like breakers. That the breakdancers.
Sure.
Breakdancers are incredibly in shape. They're the amount of talent and skill that it would take to spin on your head, going, you know,
do literally any of those moves,
insane revolutions while on your head, using your hands to just keep your balance and keep you going. Mind-boggling.
It's another thing, just like gymnastics,
right?
Where, like everything that you do is just like absolutely insane.
Yeah. Insane's a really good word because there was a breakdancer that went out there for the women's
from Australia
named Ray Gunn, who had a very interesting routine, and it's gotten a lot of heat, I think, because she was kangaroo hopping, she was on the ground swimming.
Yeah.
The more I've looked into it, one, it's really weird because like there's rumors going around that so she has a PhD and not breakdancing specifically, is like the
she's like
economic impact of
something weird,
break cultural something relating to breakdancing, something smarter than I will ever be. But she went out there and almost kind of made a mockery of breaking in general. And the memes are funny. The videos are funny. The routine was hilarious to see.
Yeah.
She didn't get a single point, I don't think, in the qualifiers. But also at the same time, it's like she goes on to talk about it, and obviously she talks about it from like a PhD level. Is like breakdancing is all about, it's a form of expression. So like her routine was based on expressing her cultural ties to Australia. So like the kangaroos, or like the swimming as it relates to, you know, the Great Barrier Reef and all of the aquatic animals. But like, man, was it the wrong platform for her to...
they said, I don't remember who it was, but like they said like she's the best we have.
Right.
Cannot be true.
Well,
that cannot be true.
So I pulled up an article. She has competed at like this is not her first time breakdancing competitively. She won the 2023 Oceania breaking championship, which is an Australian championship.
So did she like just do a crazy performance? And she can actually do it, or like what? Because like, I mean, that's the only thing people are gonna remember about this event.
Yeah,
is her.
Yeah,
and like that is disappointing to everyone else who was out there just killing it, and like that's, people are just gonna remember the person who got 0 points.
Yeah, she's been breaking since her 20s. She's 36 years old. She represented Australia in the 2021 and 2022 World championships. She let's see.
Dude, maybe they're just behind on the times. There were so many people we went to high school with that could have cleared.
Yeah. Yeah. What was interesting to me is like, I'm curious if part of it has to do with like, I don't know, her personal, like, was she trying to just get this experience so that she can go write a thesis about it?
Hope not.
I don't know, but a lot of people are saying that she was, or likely was, because in one of the interviews she was asked like about it, and she was like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna go write about it. So I just don't know. She was twice named the top ranked B girl by the Australian Breaking Association. So it's 2020 and 2021.
Interesting.
She was the top ranked breaker in Australia. And so I just don't.
I don't know. I think the videos are funny, but unfortunately that's all I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who won gold. I should have looked that up. That's my fault, but guess I'm contributing to the problem. But you know, let's move on. I mean, we've been going long here. So the GOAT of swimming, definitely distance swimmings, Katie Ledecky again. Just
Yeah.
like
Best female swimmer ever.
yeah, I mean,
United States female swimmer ever.
Dude.
Probably just ever.
she won the what was it, the 1500
By like a minute.
and the 800. Just absolutely clears everybody. Like getting lapped in the Olympics is absurd. Like,
Yeah.
that is absurd.
Yeah.
That's like what we were talking about, the high schooler, like who's coming in second. That has got to feel rough.
Well, there was a video I was looking at today, and obviously I watched her races and saw that she was at least half a lap ahead of second. There was a video of her finishing, and it's just zoomed in on like the lanes, and she's just there. Just had time. She took off her cap.
Yeah, because I think you're not allowed to get out.
Yeah, she's just sitting there waiting for the next person to show up.
Yeah,
and it was just like a 30-second
dap them up.
yeah, and it's just impressive how like they had to zoom the cameras out so you could see more people because of how far ahead she was.
Yeah, I think it's funny that she entered the 400. Basically, she entered the 400 free just to like as a challenge.
Yeah,
I don't know. These other events, I'm just gonna win.
Yeah,
so like we'll see how I do in the 400. No one can touch me in the long distance events. Maybe I'll win the 400. And she got bronze, so I think she's gonna. I think she hasn't said officially, but she said she's interested in doing LA. I would like to see her swim in LA. I think she could still win those two.
Yep. Especially on United States. Soil.
Yeah. You know.
And then, water. United States water.
There we go. Guess. And then the women set a new world record in the 4x100 IM. So that's where I got my.
That's your 400. Your 400. Your 4x100.
Yeah. So they set a new world record in that, and then, so obviously swimming didn't clear like we usually do in swimming.
Yeah, that I don't understand why. I think there's quite a few younger swimmers that competed for the United States.
You see the interview with Michael Phelps where he was like talking about like, you know, some performances like that he was really proud of. He's like, it's kind of a very disappointing Olympic showing for the United States.
Yeah,
like,
I think that there's definitely an uphill climb for the next Olympic for 2028. Lily King, I don't think was as dominant as usual, which you hated. I think she got bronze maybe by like, or maybe she got fourth by like. No. I think Lily King was like 0.004 seconds or something from gold. Something absurd. It was just like a fingernail.
Got one gold,
which was in the 4x100.
Yes, the 4x1 medley.
Yeah, right.
200-meter breaststroke, she got 8th. 100-meter breaststroke, she was 0.01 away from medaling.
That's what it was. It was just absolutely absurd. I think part of it is just the rest of the world has started to catch up. So we gotta Olympic trainers gotta step it up and
Put a lot of pressure on some kids, you know.
yeah.
Some parents got to ruin some people's lives.
Get him in the water.
Yeah.
Let's 2 more things we got. What do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk about the hitman who was in the Olympics.
Yusuf Dikic.
Yeah, the Turkish shooter who, you know, you've probably, if you're listening to this, you've probably seen it. All the pictures of like all the gear that they wear.
Yeah,
like in the shooting,
I loved watching
shooting.
archery and shooting, all of the shooting, because everyone had special glasses.
Yeah.
There was, I think it was the South Korean team for archery. They wore patches on their chins because when they like drew and like knocked their arrow,
yeah,
they pulled it back so it was like resting against their chin and like put pressure on their lip and chin, and so they put a little patch there to like protect their skin naturally. Some people had like little like glasses with a little flip down thing that covered their other eye, so you don't have to like sit there and squint as you would when you're trying to aim.
Yeah, everyone had all that stuff, and he's just out there, glasses, gun, other hand in pocket.
Yeah, didn't even like close his second eye.
Yeah,
both eyes open, just pointing the gun, hand in the pocket.
And what did he get? Silver or did he?
Yeah, he got silver.
He got silver, and he said, "I don't need special equipment. I'm a natural shooter."
Yeah,
and that's everyone was like, okay, this is like Dash in The Incredibles when he runs track. Like, you can't get gold because then it's too obvious.
Yeah.
He had some sick quotes. He said that, like, at that moment, everyone says I seem very calm, but actually storms were raging inside me. I think my shooting pose represented the Olympic spirit very well. The fair play, the simplicity, clarity, and naturalness. That's why it got so much attention. No, it got so much attention because you're a dog.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Dude just out there natural. The hand in the pocket is what sold it for me.
Yeah, he's just so casual.
Pocket,
just hitting the targets.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing we've got is we didn't talk about it yet, which is surprising. The United States Olympic team adopted a new mascot for the Paris Olympics.
An eagle?
No, a dog.
A dog.
A dog. A D-O-double-G dog. Snoop.
Snoop Doggy Dog.
It was, yes, he got paid an absurd amount of money to go and just be there at every event, but he got into it. He, during one of the equestrian dressage events, he was out there with like full gear, just out there cheering. He
did you see what he said about going to the equestrian?
No.
You see who was with him?
No.
Martha Stewart. You know why she was there? Horses scare him. She was like, Snoop asked me to come because horses scare him.
Emotional support, Martha. But yeah, he was just at every event. Like, there were several occasions where he, like, skateboarding. He was just in the stands, just cheering on Nigel Houston, who was trying to go for gold.
I want that deal.
Yeah.
The Snoop deal.
Yeah. He went on with Mike Tirico, I think, and like he broadcasts a replay of an event, and it was just pure comedy. He carried the torch at one point during the opening ceremony,
just so
or like
funny.
leading up to the opening ceremony. He just became America's mascot. He was a big advocate for the Olympics. Granted, like I said, there were financial gain from that from him, but I loved it. Yeah. I loved just seeing him out there living his best life, having a good time, cheering for the great country of the United States of America.
Dude, I was thinking about what you're gonna say. I just instinctively thought you were gonna say the great state of Indiana, just because how Indiana pilled we are. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the state of Indiana, if you're looking for like the Snoop Dogg of basketball in the state, we're here. We're willing to talk.
Yeah,
we're ready.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for somebody, two somebodies that
and we'll take a much smaller paycheck.
Do it. Almost not. not nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
I mean, that's all I have on the Olympics. Do you have anything else on the Olympics? And then I
no.
didn't watch the closing ceremonies. You watched closing?
I watched like 5 minutes of it. I was at my parents' we were watching the Colts preseason game and then turned the Olympics on or turned the closing ceremony. What's his name? Why is my brain Tom Cruise? They at the end of the ceremony they like did something at the Coliseum in LA just because there's going to be events held there for the 2028 Olympics.
Are they also filming another Mission Impossible at the same time?
No, but he was out there. He got up on like the top of the Coliseum, and obviously he had cords connected to him. But he dove off, I think, with the torch in his hand and took it down to a stage to set the stage for 2028. Yeah, he does almost all of his own stunts, and so like it was just cool to see Tom Cruise just jump off the top of the Coliseum and land on a little like stage offshoot and whatnot.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Cruise crazy.
We're gonna have a Mission Impossible marathon.
Nah, see, I feel the same way about Mission Impossible as I feel about what's that one? What's that one with the cars? Fast and Furious.
That one with the cars.
Okay, I will say I have seen some Top Gun. Does that count?
You've only seen some of Top Gun?
I've seen some of the first Top Gun.
Okay, well,
I watched like the first 15 minutes and I was like, I don't know, too boring for what I want tonight. And then I turned
Oh, no,
it
it wasn't even, he jumped into he was in Paris.
I have.
Snoop Dogg, Billie Eilish,
I've seen War of the Worlds,
and the Chili Peppers all performed in LA as an ode, or in Paris as an ode to 2028 Olympics. Yeah, so he wasn't jumping off the LA Coliseum, but
wait, Tom Cruise is in Goldmember. A callback back to Gold.
I knew what I was doing.
I have seen Goldmember. I have seen War of the Worlds, and
Homie took a selfie before he dove. He's just.
Yeah, that seems about right. Well, you've seen the picture of him on the Burj Khalifa too.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's all I have. What are we talking about next week, Jaren? We going live? We not going live? What are we doing?
We will not be live next week, so look for our episode to be published on YouTube and Spotify Monday morning, the 19th. We are interviewing a friend of the show, a big advocate for the show, Coach Jon Coffman from Purdue Fort Wayne. We're going to talk about the program as a whole, how he ended up there. One of our favorite questions that we ask, how coaches end up being head coaches or coaches in general.
Yeah, and all the awesome stuff they've done this summer.
Yeah, they have a very unique summer set of programming. I think programming is the best way to put it. So their summer workouts have a very unique spin to it. So we'll dive into all of that next week on the 19th when the episode comes out. Really fun guy. He's great to talk to.
I can talk to him
for hours.
Yeah,
easily. Obviously, he's a friend of ours. For our first pieces of memorabilia that we put up on the wall, the Fort Wayne jersey and the Ride the Wave Mastodon hat, right there between us. Really, really good one. It was a really good one. A spoiler: we already recorded it, so I can say that it was a good one.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and we know you'll have a lot of fun. Coach Koff can talk ball all day long.
He can talk life all day long.
That's true.
I think he is. So yeah, but other than that, the clock is showing quadruple zeros. It's time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking into the State of Basketball podcast. We will kind of see you next week.
You'll see us next week.
You'll see us next week.
We'll never see them next week.
Well,
unless we do a live show. person.
Yeah, we will not see you next week,
Yeah.
but
They'll
we could
see
see them in
us.
the chat on a regular basis.
True. Comments.
That counts. I count that as seeing our fans. But we will see you next week. And remember, in 49 states,
It's just basketball.